Hello YouTube, this is Ben Gessel. I'm gonna make at least one more video tonight, and I'm gonna try to make a video soon about some things that are musical, but I might start out this video. I'll mention one main question I have for you guys, one main topic. Of course, I think it has to do with this one, advertising on YouTube, or the whole discussion about ad blocking and all that stuff. But before I get to that, I wanted to mention something I'll be covering soon in some music videos, or at least videos where I'm going to be playing the piano. And in particular, I want to mention a few things about harmony here. There are some certain harmonies that for me immediately generate a very emotional feeling. And one of those is the major 7 chord. And the other one's the major 9 chord. But the minor equivalents, the minor 7 and minor 9, also have certain stronger emotions, but again, the major 7, major 9 chord are the ones I'll be kind of zeroing in on a bit. There are certain reasons why those harmonies are so emotional, and I'll explain it more in a future video, but in case you're wondering what kind of harmony I'm talking about, other than mentioning notes separated by thirds on the piano like C, E, G, B, or C, E, G, B, D, or I guess if you start somewhere else, F, A, C, E, or in the case of a ninth, F, A, C, E, G, right? And I'll play it in a future video soon, so you guys can hear those harmonies. But we're talking about, if you ever listen to Ventura Highway, on America's Ventura Highway, it's, well, yeah, it's basically the major 7 is the main type of harmony that they're using for the most part. Certainly the second harmony that you hear, it goes from a kind of a G major 7 to a D major 7. Yeah, that's G major 7 to a D major 7. And the first chord is kind of the 7th isn't very strong. You hear it more in the future, later on in the song. It goes to the G. But, it's one of the simplest songs in terms of harmony. But those major 7s make it sound so emotional. Right? I don't know, to me, the major 7 chord is the chord of romantic longing. Or even if it's not a romantic song, somehow when you play that chord, especially with certain kinds of instruments, depends on your effect, but there's this feeling of desire. You automatically go to those things that you desire, that maybe you don't have yet, or if you do, you want that person by your side, or whatever it is you desire that you don't necessarily have, or it's something very, very deep. Those thoughts are triggered by that harmony a lot of times. The major 9 chord simply has a little bit happier kind of sound to it, in a way. But I'll explain why that is harmonically soon. But incidentally, if you want an idea why that is because you're talking about combining major and minor triads, and as well as how the 7th is just really close to that octave, but is a minor second away. And then you add a 9th, it's like it's like a 2 major chords mixed with a minor chord. Plus you're adding the 2nd, the 9th on top of, the tonic and stuff. And there's all the different relationships of the pitches in those chords compared to the other pitches. But yeah, you're talking about both the darker, more sorrowful aspects of the minor chord, combining with the happier, brighter aspects of the major chord in different amounts, and so you're getting a lot of color with those ninths and 11ths and 13ths and even 7ths. So back to my other topic here I'm going to mention a bit more about. I know this is kind of a different kind of thing. This is a little confusing in a way, but when I remember first going on YouTube, I remember it was a lot different. People were uploading tons of movies all the time with no repercussions, right? It was a new thing, and nobody had really used it yet for too much for commercial purposes, I guess you could say. Just you could upload videos, whatever videos you wanted to upload. It would have been a great time to have a lot of, it was probably the best time in a way on YouTube was that time. I don't like, of course, people losing money. If you think about it, I don't like I don't like the idea of lost revenue for people that make movies and things, but it's great to have some free movies out there that are good, at least watchable, I guess you would say. Anyway, my main movie rant, at any rate, is that there's so few movies that are, worth seeing anyway nowadays. We're kind of compelled to watch more B-budget movies, so that's a different thing, which I think I've mentioned before anyway. Anyway, so there's this dialogue that's going on about ad blocks and big companies marketing to you, right? You might see things that seem oddly geared to what you're interested in, right? You might see I had some cousins of mine, I would say, my brother's wife, and some of the people were talking about this very subject recently, and they were talking about how essentially it came down to invasion of privacy. If you're talking about buying something at a mall or something soon or whatever, then you see an ad on your cell phone for that, whatever it is, right after you say it. It's kind of what we're talking about. So, yeah, of course I've seen movies like I, Robot with Will Smith, where you have advertisers following people around and saying, hey, look at this, isn't this what you want today? That kind of thing. And, yeah, I'm familiar with that whole thing. It's not a very, there are a lot of things about iRobot that were kind of like Dark City. There was a lot of things that were kind of, pointing at the inhumanity or the artificialness of that kind of world that, Will Smith was pointing out. But Will Smith is, let's face it, sometimes, he's a decent actor, but a lot of times he can come off as being a little bit of a jock, which, of course, he is a little bit. He's a big boy, right? But, he's not a bad actor, Anyway, it was great to see Will in that role because it worked. It worked well. I like Will Smith. But it's kind of like, yeah. So there are questions on my mind. There's always the question of when you put something out there on YouTube, or when you say something you want, and some device hears it and can suggest things in the future that you might things you want to buy. I'm talking about everything from the Google Voice thing to Siri to Alexa to, and all that other stuff. That's all that stuff I'm talking about. So there's that kind of knowledge of what you like, not only what you want to buy, but what you like. Because if you have devices that are listening to you, quote unquote, they can hear everything that you're saying, and they just know everything about you, that kind of thing. And then there's invasion of privacy because, there are things, many, many different kinds of things in life. Let's face it, many. There are many things, for various reasons, that we don't want everybody in the world to know about. And it's quite a variety of things, right? It's the whole, our lives are not meant to be out there for anyone to just, look, there's a lot of different tangents you can take with the subject, but the thing is that for the longest time in the world, people had the right, or it's the expectation, right, to have their lives not something that everyone can just see. Imagine, taking a shower, but instead of taking a shower just in the privacy of your own home, somehow you have recording equipment and cameras and audio equipment and bugs and things that are just, so like every detail of that shower is recorded. Everything, even singing in the shower, what you're singing, what song you're singing. So then after the shower, go about your life, whatever. Then all of a sudden, your cell phone just decides to play. Oh, let's play this song, right? And you didn't tell it to play that song. It just played on its own. That's what I'm talking about. That kind of stuff. And everything else that can come with an invasion of privacy. So I imagine a lot of people have talked to death about Facebook and all that stuff. I think Facebook is small potatoes. Let's just be honest. Facebook is small potatoes. It's nothing compared to YouTube or Google. They're going to be insignificant. They're going to get run down and just go the way of MySpace. It had its glory day. It's not. It's on the way out. I've seen this happening a long ways away. And Google and YouTube are the big boys. Along with, there might be some other things that start to come into play in the future, perhaps, but I don't have Alexa, I don't have Siri. I think it's fine for other people to have those things. I'm very cautious about those things myself. Do I believe that, you have those theories, conspiracy theories that the CIA or the FBI or the whoever's listening to you secretly, right? Drones and stuff, government drones. I believe a fair number of conspiracy theories. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I make that pretty clear. My thinking. I'm pretty open to a lot of things. There's certainly a lot of things I don't believe in. When it comes to things like being recorded, 24/7, other than what I choose to put on YouTube, right? Which, again, it's still me, but it's just, I realized a while back that I kind of almost had an attitude of, well, have fun trying to record my entire life, whoever, you know, I'm just gonna do what I do, you know. It's kind of like, at a certain point, you just throw up your hands and say, what can I do? I can go off to Wyoming and live in a cabin with absolutely no electronics whatsoever, you know, and just live the rest of my life in a cabin with no modern whatever, you know, just the things that, just like refrigeration, that's it. Refrigeration and plumbing. Maybe heating. Nothing. No, nothing, you know, just... Yeah. I think that's very appealing. You know, it can be very, very appealing, but no, I just think it's... Until you have more negative experiences with invasions of privacy, I suppose it's something where you just say, oh, what can I do? You know, kind of thing. I never really wanted to go to more powerful cell phones myself. I never really wanted the internet to happen, but once it did, I got used to it. So I got used to the internet, I got used to texting on smartphones. There's a lot of things you can get used to, I suppose. I did choose, though, to not spend very much time on Facebook. That was something I consciously did, and I've stuck with it. Quite a while back, I did that. I also consciously chose to make more videos in my YouTube channel. That was just myself. Yeah, in the future, you know, I can always choose to say, nope, whatever, you know, this was public, I want it now to be unlisted or private or whatever. I still have that option, and no, I just think it's important to have a voice, and that voice carrying farther than your own life, whatever, how your life is. It's important that everybody has a voice, and everybody does have a voice on YouTube. So that's the great thing about YouTube. That's what's going to keep it going. On Facebook, you think you have a voice, but really you don't, because you can kind of say what your little update was or whatever. And if someone wants to see it, they'll see it. But it just became something that was just some kind of contest to see who could have the best life or something. You know, it became that way. Why did it become that way? Well, it's because there wasn't any video, there wasn't any voice, there wasn't any inflection. It was just text. And you could edit it, you could say it, make it however you wanted to make it. This is why also I'm a fundamental YouTubeist. At least for a long, long time I'll be this way. Because I don't believe in editing, really. I don't believe in deceiving anyone. I don't believe in being someone I'm not. And when you edit stuff, it's like you're saying, oh, this part of me isn't really me. Or I don't want it to be shown or known. I don't want people to think I'm weird or odd or whatever. And see, on Facebook, you could make yourself sound just amazing, perfect. And that's just kind of, you know, it reminds me a little bit of some of the stuff that my parents told me about how to be on a date, you know. Now you do this. Now, of course, when you're on a date, it's great because you can actually see someone face to face. But, you know, a lot of people, I don't know, that's a different subject, I guess. But a lot of people just are, I'll admit it, I think we're all kind of a little bit out to lunch, somewhat, you know, when you start dating. it just, I don't know, everybody's different, but there's a lot of things that people just don't notice about other people, but it's a long story. So, yeah, I mean, like, we don't like fakeness, we don't like Facebook trying to manipulate our lives. I mentioned that before in their video. So getting back to the kind of our subject we're talking about here a little bit more. Again, and now this is going on a little bit longer, sorry. It's just, yeah, we don't, like any other entity out there knowing something about us or tracking us other than God. God and Satan, because they, anyway. And we get used to that, with parents when we're younger. And when we're on our own, we definitely want to be on our own. We don't like the idea of government spying on us. Or whoever else, Illuminati or whatever. But, so why would we want Google or even YouTube to spy on us? Because YouTube is owned by Google, so it's ultimately Google. Why would we want Google to spy on us? And we could say, well, we're doing this because we want to make a lot of money with businesses, and businesses want to sell stuff to you, and so that's why we're doing things the way we're doing here. But then I'd say, cool. Well, why don't, I don't know. I'm not at the point where I certainly wouldn't pay for an upgraded YouTube just to get rid of advertising. But I'd say, I'd always weigh pros and cons with you guys. If there's some other video service that's actually going to be better than YouTube, I'll go with that one. At some point, I might. Or, it just has, it all depends, I guess. I don't know. I should probably wrap up this video, but there's a lot of things that I've read and thought about that I'm just not putting out in this video. Because there's so many different sides to this topic. It's almost like a icosahedron, or you start going on a certain train of thought, and then it branches off into like a dozen different thoughts all at once. You have to just pick one. It's like, what do I, But yeah, it's like everything's involved with this. It's capitalism and monopolies and information and freedom of speech and democracy and information wars and fake news and distortion of whatever and ethics and marketing and I don't know. So you get the idea. Alright, I'll leave you your thoughts and comments below. Catch you guys later. Bye.